everyone, welcome to Lunchtime News here on MTV Sports. You're here with me, Natasha Disanaika. Let's start off with a look at your headlines. Investigations commence into an incident where a train engine without a driver travelled from Dematagudda to Ratmalana. Vidura Vikramanayaka says that all levels in the country from the highest to the lowest have depleted. 3 persons die and 26 are reported injured as a result of accidents across the island over the past 24 hours. Canadian Foreign Minister meets with Ukrainian opposition. Moving on to your stories in detail, the Railway Department has commenced investigations into an incident where a train engine without a driver had travelled from Dematagudda to Ratmalana. The Railway Control Room said that the railway engine that was in ignition had begun to move from its stopped point after its brakes had failed. A team had subsequently managed to stop the engine from moving any further. Moving on to yet more local news, the budget at the Balangoda Ibulpe Pradeshya Sabha, which is governed by the United People's Freedom Alliance, has been defeated. The chairman of the Pradeshya Sabha, Indu Gunatilaka, said that the 4 voted in favour of the budget while 8 had voted against it. However, the chairman stated the opposition leader of the Pradeshya Sabha had voted in favour of the budget while 6 UPFA members had voted against it.
The position of the chairman of the Rajangana Pradeshya Sabha, Vimarshana Prabhat Pitana, has been annulled. This was caused by the second defeat of the Pradeshya Sabha's budget for the coming year yesterday. The Rajangana Pradeshya Sabha, which is governed by the United People's Freedom Alliance, comprises of 7 government members and 2 opposition members. The first vote on the Pradeshya Sabha's budget for 2014 was called on the 7th of November and received only 1 vote. The budget was defeated with a majority of 3 votes in the second round of voting on the 11th of November. The budget of the Vattalamabola Pradeshya Sabha was defeated in the first round of voting yesterday. The budget received 8 votes for and 11 against.
The Department of Meteorology says that showers and strong winds could prevail over the island. The Met Department said that showers could occur at times in the eastern and north central and Uva provinces.
The Met Department said that showers could occur in other areas in the afternoon or evening that could progress to thunder showers, noting that rainfall of over 100 mm could also be expected. Issuing a communique, the department noted that windy weather could prevail in the sea areas around the island, with the sea areas from Galle to Jaffna via Batticaloa affected by showers or thunder showers. The sea area could experience wind speeds up to 70 km per hour, which could increase to 80 km per hour during thunder showers. The Met Department said that wind speeds in other sea areas could approach nearly 60 km per hour. It also noted that sea areas from Galle to Jaffna via Batticaloa could get rough and extremely dangerous, while other sea areas could also be rough.
Moving on to one of your headline-making stories, United People's Freedom Alliance MP Vidura Vikramanayaka, speaking at the annual prize giving of Taxila Central College in Horner for the academic year 2012, said that all levels in the country, from the highest to the lowest, have depleted.
Senior Minister Ratnasiri Vikramanayaka was the chief guest at the event.
රටේ ඉහළම තැන්වල ඉඳන් පල්ලෙහාට යනකම්ම පිරිහිලා. ඊයේ අල්ලස් කොමසාරිස්තුමා ප්‍රකාශයක් කරනවා.
All the levels in the country from the top to bottom have depleted. Yesterday, the Bribery Commission made a statement that a majority of these complaints that the Commission received is related to the education sector. You might ask, are there no politicians in this? Yes, there are politicians, but only a handful. They said there are 9 ministers and MPs and around 100 provincial and Pradeshya Sabha members.
ඉන්නවා කිව්වා තවත් 100 ගාණක් ඉන්නවා කිව්වා පළාත් සභා සහ ප්‍රාදේශීය සභාවේ.
Moving on now, officials from the Northwestern Cultural Square attached to the Central Cultural Fund have been successful in unearthing a number of artifacts during excavations carried out at a temple in the Gurukuta area in Yapahua. Project manager PRS Bandaranaike said that the artifacts that were discovered can be dated back to the year 200 BC and the premises can be determined to be an ancient temple. He went on to say that among the discovery was a gold-plated statue with pebbles. In more local news, a program commenced yesterday to drive away elephants from the Ruhunapita village area, which falls under the purview of the Polannaro Valikanda District Secretarial Division. Our area correspondent stated that the program continued into the night as well.
The program commenced last evening. Members of the Wildlife Department, the Singapore Army Camp, Civil Defence Unit, Valikanda Police and the Mahavali Authority took part in the program. Our area correspondent stated that wild elephants had been forcibly moved until the Maitrigama area yesterday.
In another one of your headline-making stories, 3 people were killed and 26 others were injured in motor accidents that occurred in the past 24 hours.
2 women were killed in a Munneshwaram junction on the Chilau-Kurunagala main road after being run over by a bus. The police said that the women met with the untimely tragedy when they were crossing the road after getting off a bus at around 7:30 this morning. One woman had died on the spot while the other died en route to the Chilau hospital. The driver of the bus that knocked them over had been arrested over the accident. Meanwhile, one person was killed at 5 last evening in an accident close to the Matugama clock tower. Our correspondent in the area said that the accident was the result of a collision between a motorbike and a bus. The disease has been identified as H. Amaradasa, a 65-year-old from Matugama. The body of the disease is currently lying at the Nagura hospital. The police added that the bus driver has been arrested over the incident.
Now, a story produced by Newsfirst's very own Shamir Rasuldeen and Zulfiq Farzan has won the silver medal at the United Nations Correspondent Association Awards to be held in New York on the 18th of December. The series of stories were on International Water Day. Newsfirst Minel Fernandez won the bronze for her story on landmines in the year 2000. The award, which is the most prestigious international accolade, one of several global awards Newsfirst has been awarded with, establishes it and its journalists amongst the very best internationally.
Some 1.1 billion people in developing countries have inadequate access to water. 2.6 billion people lack basic sanitation. Some 1.8 million children die each year as a result of diarrhea. Fresh water makes up a very small fraction of all water on the planet. While nearly 70% of the world is covered by water, only 2.5% of it is fresh. The rest is saline and ocean-based. Even then, just 1% of our fresh water is easily accessible, with much of it trapped in glaciers and snowfields. In essence, only 0.007% of the planet's water is available to fuel and feed its 6.8 billion people. Water is life.
Now, to watch the full video, you can log on to our Newsfirst website on www.newsfirst.lk.